High in the Himalayas, nestled amidst the towering peaks and ancient temples, lies the Kingdom of Nepal. Steeped in history and tradition, this small nation has witnessed its share of turmoil and triumph. But nothing could have prepared Nepal for the horrors that would unfold on the night of June 1st, 2001. Within the opulent walls of the Narayanhiti Royal Palace in Kathmandu, a tragedy of unimaginable proportions was about to transpire, forever altering the course of Nepalese history. The world watched in stunned disbelief as news of the massacre spread like wildfire. The Nepalese royal family, once revered as demigods, had been brutally slain in a hail of bullets. The idyllic image of Nepal, a land of prayer flags and snow-capped mountains, was forever shattered. This is the story of that fateful night, a night that plunged Nepal into chaos and left an indelible scar on the nation's psyche. It is a story of power, intrigue, and tragedy, a story that continues to haunt Nepal to this day. The events of June 1st, 2001 unfolded with the chilling precision of a well-rehearsed play, each act more horrifying than the last. It was a Friday evening, and the Nepalese royal family had gathered for their weekly dinner. Present were King Birendra, Queen Aishwarya, Crown Prince Dipendra, Prince Nirajan, Princess Shruti, and other members of the royal family. Unbeknownst to the others, Crown Prince Dipendra, the heir to the throne, was seething with anger and resentment. Accounts from that night paint a picture of a young man deeply troubled, his judgment clouded by alcohol and a volatile temper.
The dispute, reportedly stemming from my disapproval of the arranged marriage, escalated quickly.
As the evening wore on, an argument erupted between Crown Prince Dipendra and his father, King Birendra.
Dipendra, you must understand, this is for the good of the kingdom.
The Crown Prince, in a fit of rage, stormed out of the room. Moments later, he returned, armed with an assault rifle and a pistol. What followed was a scene of unimaginable carnage. Dipendra opened fire, spraying the room with bullets. King Birendra and Queen Aishwarya were killed instantly, along with several other members of the royal family. The massacre continued as Dipendra moved from room to room, mercilessly gunning down his relatives. Prince Nirajan, Princess Shruti, and other family members met their end in a hail of gunfire. The once jovial gathering had transformed into a bloodbath. The sounds of gunfire echoed through the palace, each shot a chilling reminder of the carnage unfolding within. Outside, the palace guards stood in stunned silence, their training failing to prepare them for the unthinkable. By the time the gunfire ceased, 10 members of the Nepalese royal family lay dead, their bodies riddled with bullets. Dipendra, his rampage complete, turned the gun on himself, adding his own name to the grim list of victims. In the aftermath of the massacre, the Nepalese government launched an official investigation to determine the motive behind the killings. The investigation, however, was shrouded in secrecy, fueling public skepticism and distrust. The official report, released a few weeks later, concluded that Crown Prince Dipendra, acting alone and under the influence of alcohol, was responsible for the massacre. The report cited Dipendra's disapproval of his arranged marriage and his strained relationship with his parents as contributing factors. According to the report, Dipendra had consumed a significant amount of alcohol that night, impairing his judgment and exacerbating his emotional state. The combination of alcohol, anger, and easy access to firearms proved to be a deadly cocktail, leading to the tragic events of that night. Whispers in the Kathmandu wind conspiracy theories abound. The official narrative, while seemingly plausible, failed to satisfy many in Nepal. Whispers of conspiracy and cover-up began to circulate, casting a long shadow of doubt over the government's version of events. Some theories pointed to a possible power struggle within the royal family, suggesting that Dipendra was merely a pawn in a larger game of intrigue. Others alleged the involvement of foreign powers, eager to destabilize Nepal and exert their influence in the region. One of the most persistent theories centered around Prince Jayanti, King Birendra's brother, who ascended to the throne after the massacre. Critics questioned the speed with which Jayanti assumed power, suggesting that he may have orchestrated the killings to eliminate his rivals and seize control of the throne.
It is, understandable why people would question my ascension. The speed was necessary, given the chaos. but I assure you there was no foul play on my part.
In the wake of tragedy, Prince Gyanendra assumes the throne. With King Birendra and Crown Prince Dipendra dead, the line of succession fell to Prince Gyanendra, King Birendra's younger brother. Gyanendra, who was out of the country at the time of the massacre, returned to Nepal to assume the throne. Gyanendra's ascension, however, was met with mixed reactions. While some welcomed him as the rightful heir, others viewed him with suspicion, their doubts fueled by the swirling rumors of conspiracy. Gyanendra's reign would prove to be short-lived and tumultuous. He faced growing opposition from both within the royal family and from the Maoist rebels who were waging a bloody insurgency against the monarchy.
The responsibility was immense, and the circumstances were, well, less than ideal. I knew there would be challenges, but I was committed to leading Nepal through this dark period.
A nation mourns, yet doubts linger. The investigation and public reaction. The Nepalese people were devastated by the massacre. The royal family, particularly King Birendra, was held in high regard, and their sudden, violent deaths sent shockwaves through the nation. The government's investigation, however, did little to quell the public's grief or address their concerns. The investigation was widely criticized for its lack of transparency and its perceived haste to close the case. Many Nepalese believed that the truth behind the massacre was being suppressed, their doubts fueled by the government's reluctance to answer key questions about the events of that night. The government's insistence on the official narrative, despite its inconsistencies and lack of supporting evidence, only deepened the public's skepticism. The shadow of the massacre, political upheaval, and the end of a dynasty. The Nepalese royal massacre had a profound impact on the country's political landscape. The massacre not only wiped out a significant portion of the royal family, but also severely undermined the monarchy's legitimacy and authority. The massacre emboldened the Maoist rebels, who intensified their insurgency against the monarchy. The rebels exploited the public's distrust of the government, portraying the massacre as a symptom of the monarchy's corruption and brutality. The monarchy, already weakened by internal strife and public dissatisfaction, struggled to maintain control. Gyanendra's attempts to consolidate power backfired, further alienating the Nepalese people and pushing the country closer to the brink. The ghosts of June 1st, unanswered questions and lingering doubts. More than 2 decades have passed since the Nepalese royal massacre, yet the events of that night continue to haunt the nation. The massacre remains one of the most perplexing and controversial events in Nepalese history, a tragic puzzle with many missing pieces. Despite the official investigation's conclusion, many questions remain unanswered. Why were there so many inconsistencies in the official narrative? Why did the investigation fail to address key witness testimonies that contradicted the official version of events? The lack of a transparent and thorough investigation has only fueled speculation and conspiracy theory, ensuring that the true story behind the massacre remains elusive. The ghosts of June 1st continue to linger, their presence a constant reminder of the fragility of power and the enduring allure of unanswered questions. Nepal today, a nation transformed, forever scarred. The Nepalese royal massacre marked a turning point in Nepal's history. The massacre, coupled with the growing Maoist insurgency, led to a decade-long civil war that claimed thousands of lives and left the country deeply divided. In 2006, the monarchy was abolished and Nepal became a federal democratic republic. The abolition of the monarchy marked the end of an era, closing one chapter in Nepal's history and opening another. Today, Nepal is a nation in transition, grappling with the legacy of its past while striving to build a more democratic and prosperous future. The scars of the massacre, however, run deep, a constant reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of truth and reconciliation. Epilogue: the enduring mystery of the Nepalese royal massacre. The Nepalese royal massacre stands as a stark reminder of the human capacity for violence and the enduring power of unanswered questions. It is a story that continues to fascinate and horrify, a tale of tragedy, intrigue, and the enduring search for truth. While the official narrative attributes the massacre to the actions of a lone gunman, fueled by anger and alcohol, many in Nepal remain unconvinced. The whispers of conspiracy persist, their echoes reverberating through the corridors of power and the streets of Kathmandu. The truth behind the massacre, much like the snow-capped peaks that loom over Nepal, remains shrouded in mystery. Whether the truth will ever be fully revealed is uncertain. But one thing is clear, the legacy of the Nepalese royal massacre will continue to shape Nepal's destiny for generations to come.